Shello fishies, it's Echo, your favorite aquarium performer and Patty Mermaid instructor, and this is how I repaired a catastrophic rip in my Mertailor Spellbound tail named Murigen. This is footage from the show right before it ripped. It did rip while I was on land, not underwater, right when I was getting into it, getting ready for a second show, but this is the last footage I have of it without its new scar. This video might be a little bit long, but I am going to include everything that I did. So here's all the stuff that I used. You can pause the video to see all of the products. I am not a professional at working with silicone. I just did my best. I would recommend doing a lot of your own research and reaching out to people you know who do work with silicone. That's what I did. This is the first video of me trying to repair it before I gave up for 2 months because I was so sad about it. But first I put some cups in there and a light, and then used needle nose pliers and a regular needle and a thimble to try to start sewing. It didn't go well. Then I switched to a curved needle. First I sewed from the monofin up towards the waist because that was going to be the most difficult and delicate place to sew. And then I sewed from the waist towards the monofin to stop it from ripping further in either direction. And then I sewed the middle here together. I used a whip stitch because it was really the only stitch I could do in there because there was really no room, and I added a surgical surgeon's knot sturgeon's knot every couple of stitches. Once it was sewed shut, I tied cord around it to get the seam to close after I had stuffed pool noodles into the tail. But because of the whip stitch and the lack of access to the inside of the tail, it left this wide gap on the seam, so I wanted that to be as closed as possible before I added the glue. Once that was done, I got out the Silpoxy and glued it shut. I just stuck as much in there as I wanted to and then I smoothed it out. Obviously I have proper ventilation, I have a mask on and gloves and all that stuff. Silicone only binds to silicone, so you have to use a special glue. And then I used tourniquets to tighten up those those cords, and it closed up the seam and held it there for me really nice. The last thing I did was added pins that I stuck through the silicone into the pool noodle that's inside the tail, just to make sure everything is held as closed as possible while it dries. And then I tried it on for the first time, and everything held, nothing popped, it felt really sturdy, so then I went ahead with painting. When you're painting, you're gonna first clean off your tail with some rubbing alcohol, some Dawn dish soap, whatever you need. Just make sure it's really, 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 really clean. And then you're gonna take some Silpoxy, put it in a little cup like that I have there with the popsicle stick, and mix it up with mineral spirits. I like to get my color with the mica pigment just right before I add it to the Silpoxy and the mineral spirits because it starts curing pretty quick. And then once you have the color and it's sheared out with the mineral spirits, then you can paint it on just like regular oil paint basically until it looks right. Here's some up close and personal photos of it finished. I am not a professional. I know I could have probably sent this to someone who would have done a much better job, but I just want you guys to have basic repair tools and information for you so that you could potentially do this repair on your own in the future. Not that you ever would have to, but do your own research, go slow, take your time, it's gonna be okay. And here's that before and after comparison photo once more. All right, stay safe, never swim alone, bye.